Hi everyone. In the previous video, we did a detailed review of the select statement that is used to retrieve information from one or more tables. Now, we will review some other frequently used SQL statements, and the first of these statements is insert statement. It is used to insert or add rows to a database table. The statement looks like this. Remember, we said earlier that SQL statements are made up of plain English terms which are called keywords. Here we use the insert into keyword that indicates we want to insert data into a table. Then we provide a table name where we want to insert the data, and then we can provide a list of columns which is optional. If we specify the columns, the values we provide will be inserted into these specific columns. If we don't specify the columns, we must provide values for all columns in the table in the order they were defined. From these two options, the safer way to write the insert statement is when we specify the columns. Then we use value keyword that introduces the list of values to be inserted. And finally, we specify the actual values that we want to insert into the table. In the previous video, we saw this artist table. Let's try to add another artist into this table. We can do so using the statement insert into artist, and we specify the column name, then the values keyword followed by the corresponding value for the name column. And we can see that the new artist Johnny is added in the artist table now. As a rule, we should use insert with explicitly specifying the column list. The advantage of doing this is that if table changes occur, it will increase the probability that your SQL will continue to function as desired. We should also use values carefully regardless of the insert syntax, whether with columns specified or not. It's important to specify the correct number of values. If you are omitting some columns, check table definitions if it allows null values or default values for these columns. Otherwise, the DBMS will generate an error message and the row will not be inserted. You can insert multiple rows in a single insert statement. In this example, we insert two rows, that is two artists, Superman and Spider-Man, and we can see the results in the artist table. There is another form of insert that can be used to insert the result of a select statement into a table. With this, we can insert data from another table. Suppose we have data in another table, which is the employee table in this case, and in this, all the IT staff want to be included in the artist list. We can do so using the insert select statement. We can see that values keyword has been replaced with select keyword. Since the employee table has no full name but stores names as first name and last name, we can use two pipes to concatenate the first name and last name to full name. This was covered in part 1 of this video series. Please check the corresponding video for more details. Here we also used aliases for table name employee as E. And we use where class to filter rows where title is IT staff. And we can see the artist table is correctly updated and both Robert King and Laura Callahan are included. There is another form of data insertion that does not use the insert statement at all. Here we can use create select statement. This command lets us copy data into a new table. For example, if we want to copy the artist table into artist copy table, we can write the expression create table artist copy as select everything from artist table. And we can see that the artist copy is generated and included in the table list, and we can see all data is present in the artist copy table. Next, we will see how to update and delete table data. We can use update to update specific rows or all rows in a table. The basic format of an update statement is made up of three parts. Number one, we should specify the table to be updated and then the column names and the corresponding new values and the filter condition that determines which row should be updated. Special care must be exercised when using update because you can easily make mistake and update every row in your table when it was not desired. As an exercise, let's update the name of artist at ID 278 from Spider-Man to Hulk. We use the statement update artist and set name column value to Hulk where artist ID is equal to 278. And we can see in the table the data has been updated with the desired value. Delete keyword lets us delete or remove data from a table. The basic format of a delete statement is made up of two parts: the table from which we want to delete data and the filter condition that determines which row should be deleted. One thing we notice is that we did not provide any column names here. Delete deletes entire rows, not columns. Therefore, again, like update, special care must be exercised when using delete because you can easily make mistake and delete every row from your table when it was not desired. Also, delete removes data from table, not the table itself. As an exercise, let's delete the artist with ID 280 from the artist table. We use the statement delete from artist where artist ID is equal to 280. And we can see the table has been updated with the row with artist ID equal to 280 removed. We should never execute an update or a delete statement without a where clause unless we really do intend to update and delete every row. Before we use a where clause with an update or delete, it is useful to test it with a select statement to make sure that it is filtering the correct records. One can easily make mistakes and write incorrect where clauses. Use database enforce referential integrity or impose restrictions that prevent the execution of update or delete without a where clause. SQL is used for both creating and manipulating tables. To create tables programmatically, we use create table statement. The basic statement includes the new table specified after the keywords create table, followed by the name and definition of the table columns separated by commas. As an exercise, if we want to create a table with 4 columns, person ID, first name, last name, and city, we can use the statement create table, then the table name, which is person, and then we provide the column names and definitions. Here we specify which column will be the primary key and what columns are required, that is their value cannot be null. In the previous video we have seen primary keys are columns whose values uniquely identify every row in a table. In this case the column is person ID. Then we use insert into keywords to insert some data and we can see the data populated in our table correctly. In the city column for Yellowstone, the city column value is null. We can also specify default values in column definitions. For example, we kept the same schema for the scientist table as in person table. For the city column, we are now providing a default value which is Calgary. Now, if we only insert data into first name and last name columns, the city will be updated with default value. And we can see Calgary in the city column. To update table definitions, we use the alter table statement. The basic statement requires the name of the table to be altered after the keywords alter table, followed by the list of changes to be made. Ideally, tables should never be altered after they contain data. The best strategy is to spend sufficient time anticipating future needs during the table design process so that extensive changes are not required later on. Let's try to add a seniority column to the scientific table, and we set the default value as senior. And we can see after the update for the existing data, seniority is automatically set as senior. To delete or remove an entire table, we use the drop table statement. It's too easy as we provide the table name after drop table keywords. Let's remove the person table from our database and we write drop table person, and this table is removed from the list of tables in the database. In the next part, we will cover other important topics such as use views, work with stored procedures, manage transaction processing, and use cursors. If you like this video, press the like, share the video, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.